Want a real vibes only, unfiltered take on just about anything and everything? Entrepreneur, best-selling author, speaker, and busy mom, Chelsea Hewsome shares her unapologetic views about life, business, and this beautifully imperfect hot mess world we face each and every day with lip service and lashes. Now here's your host, Chelsea Hewsome.
Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Lip Service and Lashes with Chelsea Hewsome. Today, I have Jennifer Bigler here. Jennifer is a seasoned digital marketing expert and the founder of Living Freely Gluten-Free, a successful blog that offers easy, allergy-friendly recipes and lifestyle tips. With over a decade in content creation and digital strategy, Jennifer also applies her expertise as part owner of a local HVAC company. Her work blends her passion for accessible, gluten-free living with practical business skills, supporting both her own brand and small businesses to grow and connect with their audiences. So much goodness here. Welcome, Jennifer. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Yes, I'm so excited to have you. We actually just met recently at a wine night that I hosted, and I'm like, I like her. We need to chat more about, we just dove right in about mom life, business life, all the things. So, all right. So tell us, you have numerous businesses, okay? So can you tell us a little bit more first about your blog and your cookbook? Because I think a lot of people are looking for more gluten-free recipes. So tell us kind of a little bit of, who's that for?
Yeah, so the blog is for anybody who has any type of gluten-free or, food allergies. We cover a lot because we have a lot in our family. And they're all family-friendly recipes with easy-to-find ingredients. I think I found that to be the most difficult part. So I decided to come up with a solution for families. And it's all recipes that kids are, wanting to eat and will enjoy and that they can make with you in the kitchen too. So my whole goal with the blog was to bring everybody back to the table. And it didn't matter what food intolerance you had, there was a spot for everyone at the table. So that's kind of my whole idea behind the blog and the cookbooks and all of the different things that I share on social media.
Well, I love that. And like, if you're like me, it sounds like you've kind of made it more simplified because I personally prefer like 5 ingredients or less or very minimal ingredients or not these fancy things that you can only find at like specialty stores, right? It's just, we don't have time for that.
No. And it's nice to have those things every once in a while. So when a new item comes out, I'm happy to share it with everyone and do a review. But what we're making every day is recipes that you can go to any grocery store and grab the ingredients for because I'm busy. I don't have time for these elaborate recipes. I'll make them every once in a while, but during the week, I need easy, fast, delicious, and everyone's happy. And the other thing too with food allergies is a lot of people end up making multiple meals to accommodate. My whole thing is everyone's going to eat the same thing and finding a way to make it taste good that no one's going to notice that I've modified ingredients.
I love that because we are as moms are not a restaurant. Like, hi,
right.
Children, we're eating one meal as a family. I'm not catering to your craziness, right? So I can't wait to try some recipes out. Like, I love that it's simple, kid friendly, so amazing. So where can they find your cookbook? Is it on Amazon or where?
Yeah, so it is on Amazon, and it's also on my website, livingfreelyglutenfree.com. Okay. And if you order from my website, I sign all the copies when I ship them out. And everything in the cookbook is gluten-free and dairy-free and naturally corn-free. So if you're avoiding any of those items, you'll be able to find, there's over 100 recipes, so you'll be able to find something for everyone.
I love that. And I actually have had a few friends lately where their kids have had to go dairy or gluten-free. This is perfect for that. So yes, thank you. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you have numerous businesses. So you get the entrepreneur life. And with the HVAC company, what are your favorite things about being an entrepreneur in general? And then what are some of the toughest?
So my favorite thing is just being in control. and being able to, map my day out the way that I want to map my day out, and do things the way that I want to do them, or just how I feel like it should be done. That's probably my favorite part, working for myself. I love that. I don't do well working for other people anymore.
I don't either. I'm ruined forever.
Right. That happens,
Yeah.
I've tried and it just hasn't worked out. And then I think the most difficult part is that as well, because, you're having to juggle all of the things, and there's no one to cover for you if you can't finish something, or if you're sick or you want to go on vacation.
Yeah.
You have to figure that out. You have to make it happen. So that's probably the most difficult part too.
It is. And you learn to juggle. Like, there is the beauty of it. Like, if you have a sick kid, you can go pick him up. But if you're sick, you're like, well, still gotta get in here and work today. You know what I mean? You don't ever get a quote day off.
No, never.
Ever.
You go on vacation, you're still working on vacation. But it's bittersweet. I would rather be working for myself doing that than, just making all the money for someone else who doesn't appreciate me.
Absolutely. And I've figured out a way to get really good at working in little spurts, and then go live your life with your family, and you somehow figure out a way to work it in while you're living your life, right? Because
Yes.
we're not waiting for someday to be able to enjoy our time. The beauty's in now.
And I think entrepreneurship works really well for highly productive people, because going to work and sitting at a desk is difficult for people like us, because we work so fast that we're done. And then we're like, I feel like I'm wasting my time sitting here. So I'm able to get so much work done in a very short amount of time, so that sometimes I feel like, wow, I have extra time. Am I cheating? But no, it's just because I'm highly productive and I get things done fast and efficiently.
I so agree. I think we do. We bust it out when we're working. And I don't work 40 hours a week, and I don't want to, but I work really, really hard when I do, right?
Right, exactly.
Okay, so I want to shift a little. So tell us a little more what you do with social media, with that business.
Yeah. So what's funny is the blog kind of is what brought me to the social media management. I had a great social presence. So local companies started coming to me and asking me to help them with their social presence. And so that kind of turned into this next business that I have, which is social media management, digital marketing. So I manage multiple social medias for several different companies, mostly in the specialty food and beverage space, but I've dabbled in politics and athleisure wear and lifestyle brands. And I create content for them, but I also manage all of the socials for them as well. And then that has grown into affiliate and influencer management. So that's my favorite part of all of it now. And I think I'm going to kind of move into that a little bit more as time goes on. But
Nice.
I've been able to take these small gluten-free brands and just grow them into a brand that people are aware of, that they have recognition for, that I now have people coming to me wanting to work with our brands. So it's been so much fun, and I love what I do. And so, but digital marketing and social media at the same time can be exhausting because it's always changing. You have to stay up with the times. I think I just found out that we're getting rid of hashtags on Instagram pretty soon.
Oh, really?
Which is wild. And
I still haven't even got to use them regularly, because I'm just one of those bad people that doesn't keep up with it.
It's wild. There's so many new things happening all the time, but I get bored easy too. So I guess it's good because everything's constantly changing and keeping me on my toes.
Very true. I get bored easily too. That's probably another quality of us crazy entrepreneurs. We just got to keep going and keep it fresh and have new stuff thrown at us.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you're just as a person looking at social media, what's the biggest mistake you see people making? And you're like, oh, this drives me crazy.
I think being inconsistent and just posting anything on their feed. And that kind of will drive me crazy right off the bat, because those two things, if you just switch that, would make all the difference. Your stories are where you can be raw and real. And then your feed is kind of like, it's your resume. You want it to be
Yeah.
polished. You can have, some raw, real stuff in there, but you want a nice thumbnail. So I think that that's when I see a feed, I'm like, oh my gosh, they need to clean that. I can fix that for them. But those are the two most important things. You have to keep showing up. You can't just post whenever you have time. You have to have a schedule and be consistent with it.
Yeah, if you're going to want to grow. I'm really bad. Sometimes I post like pretty often, and then other times it's just life too. Maybe I don't post as much. It's hard. But do you see, like, I've been looking at my Facebook memories. They always pop up and it's like 17 years ago, Chelsea, blah, blah. Like, I posted the most random crap. Like, why did I feel the need to put this on there? It just makes me laugh.
Yeah, no, I get those and I cringe, and I'm like, oh, I need to delete that, and I'll go in and get rid of it, because I'm like, that was awful. I don't know what my process was in my mind, but I should have not done that.
I know. It's pretty comical every morning when I'm like, okay. Why did you feel the need?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. So how do you balance having a career, mom life, all the things? So you are a mom. Tell us a little about your kids and, like, how do you balance it all? Because it's hard sometimes.
So I have a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old, and it's, you have good days and bad days where, like, you have days where you feel like you really got everything done. You were super productive. You had quality time with your kids. And then you have days where you're just falling apart. And I think in the beginning, when I first started my business, I was really hard on myself about that. But as time has gone on, I'm just like, it is what it is at this point. I'm doing my best. Everyone's happy. That's all I can do today, So I try to make sure that I block my time so that I have certain times of the day where I'm giving them, undivided attention, helping with homework, making dinner, doing that kind of stuff. And then there's days where I'm just like, look, you guys, I'm sorry. I have so much that has to be done in the next 2 days. You guys are going to have to, figure it out today. But they're older now. It makes it easier. When they were little, it was so much harder. I always kind of felt like I was unraveling, and it was just a matter of, like, how much I was going to unravel that day.
Oh, I hear you. It is. You finally have to come to peace with it and know that you're doing the best you can. Yes, we are going to drop balls sometimes. It is what it is. And just be fine with it. Otherwise, you'll never be happy doing this, right?
Right. And I'm hoping that I'm, showing them that, especially my daughter, that, you can still have a career. You can put yourself at the top of your priority list and manage your life. And that's okay. When they were little, I would put myself last a lot. And I don't think that was good for anybody. And so now there's times where I'm like, hey, I'm a human too. I have needs and wants, and this is what I need to do for myself right now.
Yeah, I totally, and I agree with what you said about when they're smaller. It is harder now. You can be like, hey, make yourself a sandwich. I can't cook a big dinner tonight, whatever. And they could care less, right? They're fine with that. And I have to laugh. When we met, my friend was sitting there and she got a text saying, Mom, you need to come home. The ceiling, water's coming through the ceiling. Like the toilet flooded. And we're all like, well, this is what we get for going out.
Exactly. It's always something,
Oh yeah. It's a little crazy, but you just got to embrace the crazy and laugh and be like, okay. So what is a boundary that you've had to set to maintain sanity for you, even if it wasn't easy to do, whether it's personal or business or whatever, just to protect you and your time, your energy?
I think the biggest boundary I've had to set is with my husband. And it's because for the beginning of our relationship, I really handled all of the domestic side of our life, even though I worked. And I think that was just the way I kind of grew up. I was told that that was my responsibility. And as I began to work more and make more money and have more drive and motivation, I had to like kind of let him know, like, hey, this isn't all on me. I need you to do X, Y, and Z, and this needs to be your job and responsibility. And that hasn't always been easy, because we all know like husbands like to do things on their time or when they feel like it needs to be done.
Yes.
But so we still am kind of like, hey, you know, did you do this or that? But that is probably the biggest boundary that I've had to do, is kind of just letting him know that we're partners. I'm not your maid.
I love that. I love that. And it's true, right? Just because we're women doesn't mean, and we're working, we're doing all these things, right? Just doesn't mean we naturally have to do that. I love that. And that is hard, but I think more people probably need to do that, because I'll be like, oh, I went out of town and my husband gets really bored when I'm gone. And he's like, I just like rearranged the whole kitchen and like cleaned out the Tupperware drawer and like threw a bunch away because it was driving him crazy because it was so disorganized. And I came home and like the cabinet stuff had been moved in the kitchen. It was really neat and great. And everyone's like, oh my God, who is he? Can he come to my house? And I'm like, he just like gets bored, and I didn't ask him to do it. He just did it. But I'm like, hell yeah, man, cool.
Yeah. That's why we keep him around.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I like you. Oh, funny. Okay, let me see. So let's see. I got distracted because I have so many things I want to ask you. Okay, talk to me about your HVAC company, because we all know, like with me being in construction, you being with a company like that, it's not traditionally female. So talk to us about the company and what have you learned from being involved with that?
It's definitely been different because I've never worked with that type of industry before. So I'm still learning it.
Mm-hmm.
How you go about things is a little bit different than what I've been used to. But we invested in an HVAC company that my best friend and her husband started, and we became part owners. And my husband is working out fixing people's heating and air conditioning, and then I'm doing the marketing side of it. I think the hardest part for me is because I have only worked for women for like the past 10 years. I find that I just do better with female clients. So I mostly work for women-owned businesses, and having to work with my husband and my best friend's husband has been the biggest struggle for me, because, you know, it's just everyone wants to be an alpha in the situation. So we're having to like compromise a lot.
Yeah.
So I think that's been the hardest part for me, but it has been fun and interesting. You know, we're out at trade shows and we're doing different things. That's kind of like my specialty of everything. And so it's nice to get to meet the community and be a part of it. So that's probably been my favorite part.
That is cool. And it is different. I don't work with my husband, but I get like if you're working with a spouse or a close friend, right? It's just different. It's different. And I don't know, sometimes we're a little more hard, or like our husbands too, or like your best friend, they're your best friend husband. You're like more direct and hard and honest with them sometimes than you would be with other people.
Yeah, definitely.
You have to be like, sorry.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. How do you personally define success for you, and how has that definition, or has it evolved since becoming a mom, and how?
Oh, absolutely. So just the word success for me has evolved so much over the past 15 years, because in my early 20s, I had a vision of what success was, and it was money, and it was the big house and the nice car and the designer clothes and all of that. To me, that was success. And then when I had kids, that completely shifted, because success was being able to take care of myself and have a meaningful job and also be present. So, and I had to learn that didn't necessarily mean big dollars, but it meant doing what you love, making a living, and being able to be completely present for my family. And when that shift happened, I think it became easier for me to not be so hard on myself because I was always like trying to make more money, trying to do more. And then I realized I didn't need to do that because this is what life is supposed to be, what I'm doing right now.
I totally agree. It's, are you taking care of yourself? Like, maybe on the outside to everyone, you have a quote unquote successful company, but maybe your health's failing. You're so stressed out. You can't sleep, right? All these
Yeah,
things, or your kids hate you, or your spouse hates you. What is the point of all that?
exactly.
I mean, it doesn't, yeah, I totally, totally agree. Okay, what are some of your then favorite habits for self-care for you? Like what do you notice like fills you up and gives you the energy you need to be a high performer and be doing so many things?
There's a couple things. I think one of the main things that I like to do often is just be by myself for a little bit, not having anybody talking to me, and just
Glorious.
be right, just being able to live in my head and process all of my thoughts, feelings, needs, and wants. And one of the things that fills me up the most is traveling for work. And I love to travel for work. And even though I'm working, it feels like a vacation. And I always just come back like re energized and better for my family, better for everything. So those are kind of like my two favorite things. I like yoga and I love a glass of wine or a bubble bath. But like those are the two big things for me.
I love that. I totally agree. I was just got back from California a few days ago. There's something about having your own hotel room, maybe some room service, just laying there in the robe and yeah, in the quiet. It's
Yeah.
glorious.
Yeah. Not having to share the TV with anybody.
Yeah, because we never actually get to watch what we want. It's either what maybe our husband's watching or the kids, right? And you're like, okay.
And, I love my job so much too that whenever I'm traveling for work, it's fun. And
Yeah.
I love every moment of it. Even if I come home really tired or jet lagged, I still love every moment of it.
I love that. And I totally am with you about the alone time because I think as moms and entrepreneurs, we really don't, it's very rare that we get good alone time. And so it's just to understand that we first need that to recharge and soak it all in. That's
Yeah.
honestly one of the most powerful things for sure.
And knowing when you need that break too. I used to push myself so hard to the point of breaking sometimes. And why? Why was I doing that to
Yeah.
myself? Because at that point, I'm not productive anymore. So I've had to like kind of learn when I need to step out and, go run an errand or just like go sit on the couch for a few minutes and hang
Yeah.
out with my dog and just kind of like refresh my mind so I can come back and be better at what I need to be better at.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was talking to a girlfriend yesterday and I haven't seen her in a while. And she's like, yeah, my husband knew that I was kind of just struggling. And she's like, he made me take an alone like few days and like sent me away and was like, I love you. Go relax, recharge, whatever. And I was like, dang, he's a good man. You keep him around.
Yes.
For
Yes.
for them to initiate that, I'm like, that's amazing.
That's awesome. I mean, we need that sometimes
We
too.
do.
And it's hard for us to admit that we need to take that time or feel like everything's going to be okay when we walk away. And I think that was a problem that I had in the beginning too. Like, are my kids going to survive if I'm gone for 4 or 5 days? And you just kind of have to take a leap of faith and know that everyone will be okay and do what you need to do, and that's okay.
Yes, I totally agree. I just literally recorded a podcast episode on this when I was in California last week because it's they are going to be okay and it's everyone is fine without us, right? But you start like I talked to somebody at home and then I was like, "Oh my God, I started getting the mom guilt like, oh, I feel bad. Are they all okay? And oh, is everyone getting around it? Or I don't know. I just felt bad and I started getting like this pit in my stomach and was like, oh, I should run home early and go home. And I was like, knock it off. What are you doing? They are fine. This is good for them. It's good for you. But don't you get like sometimes that mom guilt comes in it's a really nasty voice in our head that we really have to talk down,
Yeah.
I guess.
I mean, there's been times where I've had to miss things, different activities that they're doing, games, that they're in. And it used to bother me a lot. But what I've realized is I am so present and I'm here so much that it's okay for me to miss a couple of things. And, I can't be at everything, and it's okay for them to learn how to be independent and know that I'm not going to be there to do every little thing for them.
Yes.
And so I think it's good for everyone, especially my husband, because I come home and he's like, wow, I'm so tired. And I'm like, yeah, I bet you are.
Yeah, I bet you are, honey. You're welcome. I'm home.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it is good for everyone. I don't know, but it's always still there, kind of in the back of your mind. And I think it's worse in the beginning, but I think we both agree we see the value. Our families see the value in that. We're out doing things. We're doing passionate, right? We're putting things out in the world that we believe in. And I think that will hopefully translate to our kids saying, look at my mom. She's building things. She's strong. She's smart, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And, now my kids, they want to come with me when I'm traveling, which most of the time I say no, but it's exciting to see that they want to be involved in what I'm doing too. And I think maybe someday I will take them and put them to work for different things that I'm doing.
You should. But for now, mommy needs her king bed alone.
Yes.
So no, you may not come.
Exactly.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing everything. And I know so many people need to hear this because these are things, if you're a busy mom or entrepreneur, it's just stuff we deal with daily. And to know we're not alone in it helps so much when we're sitting alone in our office, toiling away at this stuff. So how can we help support you? What's next for you? And then where can everyone learn more about you?
Yeah, so if you want to follow me on Instagram at Living Freely Gluten Free, that's where I'm sharing all of my recipes. I'm in my stories daily. I recently had some of my readers ask me to start cooking dinner in stories again.
Oh,
I took a break from it for a while, and so I'm trying to do that as often as I can. So if you want to head over there and give me a follow, I answer all of my DMs if you have any questions. And then I have my cookbook if you need a little kitchen inspiration. And yeah, I mean, that's the best way to just kind of stay in touch with what I'm doing and hang out with me.
Awesome. Well, I'm definitely getting your cookbook because I feel like this is most moms and people. Don't you just fall into a rut where you feel like I just make the same 7 things, you know what I mean? 7 things over and over and over. And I want healthy and I want easy. So I'm going to be checking that out as soon as we get off here. So thank you so, so much. I so appreciate you. And for everyone listening, please follow the podcast, share it with all your friends, go follow Jennifer, get her cookbook. And if you need social media management, reach out. You can check her out on Instagram as well. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening. And always remember, no BS, just real vibes.
Thanks for listening to Lip Service and Lashes with Chelsea Hewsome. Make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. To learn more about Chelsea and her life as a hot mess mompreneur, head over to chelseahewsome.com. And be sure to follow her on all social platforms. Thanks for listening. And just remember, no BS, just real vibes.